All right, back for another Sabbath class. First of all, we like to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, and we do so in the name of Yahweh Shai. And we do so in the name of Yahweh Shai. Back for another Sabbath class by the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so boom, we finna talk about Babylon today, right? Because we got Cat Williams, the talk of the town. Meanwhile, the border got Chinese and soldiers coming through it. No kids, no women, just fighting age men are coming through the border, right? Um, you got P Diddy and TD Jakes, they gay, right? You got stay on mute, yeah. But so you got all this going on. You got Cat Williams, the talk of the town, and Babylon is still falling, right? This clown land ain't don't nothing make sense here, and it's all distractions, right? But you got to keep your eye on the prize. The prize is the kingdom of heaven. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai coming back down. That's the prize. That's the goal. That's the whole duty. That's what we doing, right? Give me Revelations 14 and 8. So we got everything, every manner of wickedness being forwarded in this country, right? They just build Rittner High School. Rittner High School, right, is somewhere in the county. They got trans bathrooms in it, right? All manner of wickedness, and we tripping off Cat Williams, and we tripping off TD Jakes. Nah, you dig what I'm saying? They done released the Epstein list. They found out who was freaking off with the kids on the island, right? So all this going on, but it's going on where? It's going on here in Babylon, right? This Revelations 14 and 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of her wrath and her fornication. So that Babylon is talking about this place, right? And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive the mark on his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture in a cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented, he shall be tormented with fire and with brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. That's how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. It rained fire and brimstone, right? Well, Babylon gonna get destroyed the same way. Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, right? So this place that's Babylon gonna go be on fire when it get destroyed, and it's gonna be on fire forever and ever, right? And they shall have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark in his name. Verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. Yeah. So Hamashiach. So we got Babylon being destroyed, right? And the saints are patiently waiting for this to happen, but Babylon getting destroyed by fire. This was coming to this place, right? And you got to make sure you them saints patiently waiting. Make sure you ain't the person that's sitting here partying and kicking it while it's getting destroyed. No, you gonna be sitting back looking, patiently waiting, right? Give me but Babylon gonna be destroyed, right? Give me Revelations 5 and 9. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And they sung a new song, right? So this new song gonna be getting sung with us Israelites, right? We gonna start singing. See, we like somebody singing a new tune, like they was on there, but now they singing a new tune, like something changed. That's us, right? The song we sing now is Crips and Bloods and Thoughts Twerking. That's the song we singing now, but we gonna sing a new song, and a new song gonna be the praise of Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shabbat, that's the name we're gonna come in, but we're gonna praise Yahweh. That's the new song we're gonna sing. This Revelations 5 and 9. And they sung a new song saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wert slain and hast redeemed us to God by the blood, out of by thy blood, out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation. And I'm gonna my next I'm gonna do a breakdown, or I'm gonna put down a breakdown of Revelation 7 when it was like every out of every kindred, tongue, and nation. Right? I need to put that on a video. But make a long story short, that's Israelites, right? We shall be as the sand of the sea. Hosea 1 and 10 is a precept to that, right? So we're gonna sing a new song, right? Because we cover by the blood of Yahushua, right? Verse 10. Thou hast made us into our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So we people talk about the kingdom of heaven. Oh, you got to die to get the kingdom of heaven. No, we're going to reign here on earth because Most High made us a nation of kingdom and priests. Let me get that in the Torah. Give me Exodus chapter 19 and verse 3. Right? So this is talking about the Israelites. We are the people that can be saved from that Babylon being destroyed. Only us. Right? This Exodus chapter 19 and verse 3. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, this shall thou say unto the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Drop down to verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a nation of verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So that nation of kingdom and priests are the Israelites, but it said we're going to sing a new song, right? But the Israelites are the only people that's going to be able to sing that song. Let me prove it further. Go back to Revelations chapter 18 and give me verse 1. Right? Singing that new song, right? This Babylon being destroyed, the saints patiently waiting on it, and they're gonna sing a new song, right? When it's all said and done. It's Revelations 18 and 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightning, uh, with his glory. And he cried with a mighty voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and hold of every foul spirit in the cage of of every unclean and hateful bird. And all nations have drunk. Actually, Salakia, I need Revelations 14 and 1. My bad. Tripping a little bit. Right. It was Revelations 14 and 1. And I looked, and lo, the Lamb stood on, but Revelations 18 and 1 is still talking about Babylon being destroyed. The whole book of Revelations is about the Babylon being destroyed. But this is Revelations 14 and 1. And I looked, and lo, the Lamb, that's Yahushua, the Lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144 and 4,000. So that's the 144,000, right? Having the Father's name written on their forehead. Verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven, and as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of great thunder, and I heard the voice of harping with their harps. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144 and 40 and 4,000, which were redeemed from the earth, right? And you can easily scroll back to Revelation 7. That 144,000, everybody should know that read this book, are the Israelites. This is Revelations chapter 7. Scroll down to verse, I think, 6. Oh, well, okay, 7. Basically, these are the 12 tribes, 12,000 being taken out of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. These are the governing or the government of Israel, so to speak, right? Not the women, not the kids, not the other men. This is just the top guys, right? The people that really did what they supposed to, and they was chosen from the foundation of the earth. The 144,000 out of each tribe. These are Israelites, right? So it ain't no other nation. Let me read that. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, which were 144 sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel, right? So those are the people that's gonna sing the new song. Those are the people that's gonna be getting redeemed out of Babylon, right? Give me the book Psalms chapter 137 and 7, right? Because this place, it ain't gonna be all distractions forever. It ain't they can put a fake news story or a fake school shooting or something like that to get your attention away from them poisoning your food and water and setting up their own whatever the Esau doing. You can't be ignorant of his devices. But Babylon is going to be destroyed, and it is Esau, and you can't save him. This Psalms chapter 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. The daughter of Babylon, this ain't Babylon, it's the daughter of Babylon. The daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. That's going to happen in Babylon to Esau, right? Thus saith the Lord. Not thus saith me. I didn't write this. Thus saith the Lord, right? So that's happening in Babylon. Not only is the land being destroyed, those people, those Edomites are going to be destroyed with the land and everybody else with it. And the only people that's going to be able to sing a new song in that land or the 144,000, or aka the children of Israel. If you're not an Israelite, you are not eligible for salvation out of Babylon at all, right? Give me Jeremiah 51 and 49. Just a couple of quick hits. But yeah, everybody distracted by Cat Williams and man, it is going down. The dollar, the rest of the world stopped trading with the dollar, right? United States, they basically declaring war on their citizens, right? And while you sitting here and you just eating up the Cat Williams, no, get yourself together. You got to work out your own salvation. You got to get on your stuff. It ain't time for freaking off. It ain't time for being lovers of yourself. This ain't the time for that. This is the time for you to get right with your God. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and 49. As Babylon have caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon should the fall of the slain of all the earth. So Babylon, we just read that in Psalms 137 and I believe verse 8, it says, Babylon who ought to be destroyed, right? We're going to serve thee as thou hast served us, right? So just like they caused Israel to fall, right? So in turn, Israelites or them having us in slavery gonna cause them to fall, right? Verse 50. And ye that escape the sword go away and stand not still, right? So you're gonna be on the move. Remember, the Lord is not afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame covered our faces. For strangers are coming to our sanctuary, the sanctuaries of the Yahweh's house. Therefore, behold, the days have come, saith the Lord, that I will do a judging upon the graven images, and throughout all the land the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon shall mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the heights of her strength, yet from me shall the spoilers come to her, saith the Lord. So Babylon, they said it's going to reach up to heaven. They sin's going to reach up, or they name going to reach up to heaven. But the Most High said, I'm going to send somebody, and they're going to tear that down. They're going to spoil it. Verse 54, a sound of cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans, because the Lord hath spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice. When her waves do roar like great waters, the noise of a great voice is uttered. Verse 56, because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows are broken. Their bows are like weapons. Every one of their bows are broken. For the Lord Yahweh of recompense shall surely requite. Verse 56, because the spoiler has come upon the verse 57. I will make drunk her princes, right? So who is the prince of Babylon, right? The Esau, right? Drunk meaning they ain't gonna be on point, right? They wisdom gone. It say that in Obadiah. I will take all the wise men out of the Edom, right? So this verse 56. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men and her captains and her rulers and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake. Thus saith the king, whose name is the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the boardwalks of Babylon shall be utterly broken. When you see Naquam now out there teaching on the boardwalk, that ain't gonna be there forever, right? This is verse 58. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the boardwalks of Babylon shall be utterly broken. Her high gates shall be burned with fire. You see all them skyscrapers, they coming down. And the people shall labor in vain, and the folks in the fire, and they shall be weary, right? So no, I'm gonna end it right there, right? So you got Babylon, this Babylon being prophesied to being destroyed in the Old Testament. Give me a second. Give me Isaiah 13 and 19. And all this is about the destruction of Babylon. I'm finna get this like my last passage, and then we finna get into what we got to do here in Babylon, right? So this Babylon, Slovakia, this Isaiah 13 and 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, right? Ain't they don't they say that the strongest, best nation on earth, right? And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellently shall be as to when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Anybody can come off mic. How was Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed?
With fire and brimstones.
With fire and brimstone. Stay off mic. How was ancient Babylon destroyed?
Oh.
They didn't even have a war. It's a trick question. You probably don't know. They didn't even have a war with the Persians. They just like gave up, surrendered. So this couldn't be talking about ancient Babylon because it wasn't burnt with fire. This is talking about the daughter of Babylon, right? It's going to be overthrown in Sodom and Gomorrah. Keep in mind, this Isaiah scroll. There is no chapters. There is no verses. That just help us find it. Go to Isaiah 14. It just talked about how Babylon going to be destroyed. And look, for the Isaiah 14 and 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And strangers shall be joined unto them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrows and from thy fear and from the hard bondage or slavery which thou was made to serve. So as soon as they talk about Babylon being destroyed, they talk about us going back to our land and getting hegemony, right? And becoming the rulers or the kings and priests that the Most High claimed that promised to our forefathers, right? So that's that. But what you got to do, right? Because they trying to talk about reparations, but you don't want no reparations. Dollar ain't worth nothing, right? You gotta get your reparations is the kingdom of heaven, right? Give me Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. This is what you got to do, right? Babylon gonna get destroyed. You can't do nothing about that. You better it said, come out of her, my people. So spiritually, mentally, come up out of Babylon, right? Come back to your God. But this is what you got to do. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, right? Let me see something real quick. So, 1 second, yeah. Okay, this I'm gonna read the definition real quick of circumspectly, right? This definition of circumspectly. A synonym is to be careful. It says meaning of circumspectly in the way that is careful to avoid risk. It says in a way that is careful, right? And to avoid risk. So that's circumspectly, right? So we finna read the verse again. It's Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. See that you walk circumspectly, right? Or carefully without, avoiding risk, but not as a fool, but as wise. And we know wisdom comes from the keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and the Most High depart wisdom upon you. So you got to keep the commandments even in order to even do this, right? So walk ye circumspectly, not as fools, but of wise. Verse 16, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore, be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. So you got to walk circumspectly, be careful, right? And because you got to do the will of God, right? You got to understand what the will of God is, right? Let's see what the will of God is. Give me Psalms. Give me Psalms chapter 40 and verse 7, right? So you got to be careful on what you doing day to day. Can't be out here freaking out doing whatever you want to do. You can't be out here, you know what I'm saying? Ain't praying, ain't reading, ain't doing the commandments. You can't be out here doing it. Let's see what the will of the Lord is. This Psalms chapter 40, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in. Slakia. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book, it is written of me, right? We know that's talking about Yahweh, right? But through Yahweh. Verse 8, I delight to do thy will, oh my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. So the law is the will of God. So anybody be like, well, it's in the Most High will. Well, you got to be doing them commandments if you're taking that stance, because the will of God is the commandments, right? So you got to be walking circumspectly and keeping these commandments. That's what you need to be doing, right? Give me 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Let's see what else you got to be doing, or what will be adding unto that, right? Be careful, right? Avoiding risk, right? The 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. It says, examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. So we just said circumspectly, you got to be careful. Now it's time of examining yourselves. Get a mirror, look in it. You need to find out where you're lacking it and try to fix that, right? Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves, knowing ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except you be reprobates. So you got to take a long look at yourself in the mirror and see if you got the spirit of Christ in you, right? And if you don't, you will reprobate. Verse 6, but I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. Now I pray to God that ye do not do that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do which is honest. And though we be as do which is honest, though we be as reprobates, for you can do nothing against the truth before it, right? And I would put that verse on Christianity. They think they attacking us, and the more anybody ever do to this truth, the more they come against the camps on the corners and say, oh, they teach it. So soon as you do that, you're making us bigger, because you can't do nothing against the truth. You can only do it for it, right? Well, Yahweh shall say, he that is not against us is for us, right? So you got to examine yourself. You got to be careful on how you walk and keeping the commandments and continually examining yourself, right? This is what you have to do. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Babylon gonna be destroyed. People gonna die here. You got to try to make sure you're not of that number. You trying to be of the number that's getting saved. You trying to be the number that's people that set up treasures in heaven, right? Instead of building up treasures on earth, don't start building up some treasures in heaven that's gonna be waiting on you, right? Give me Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. It's Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. And it says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have also obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now as much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So, My wife, she keep the commandments. That ain't gonna save me, right? My kids keep the commandments, or I join a camp that keep the commandments, but I'm still wicked. That ain't gonna save me because I gotta work out my own salvation, just like everybody else do, right? With fear and trembling. This ain't nothing to play with, right? Can't pick and choose what you want, right? You can't say, well, no, you can't do that. You got to take this whole road, right? And this is what our heritage. This is our stuff, right? So it ain't for nobody else to have. It's only for you to have, right? But you got to do right by it. You got to do what the Most High said, told you to do. You can't do it your own way, right? You can't go about to establish your own righteousness, as it said, I think in Romans 10, right? It said they got the zeal of God, but not according to knowledge, and it went about. Give me that. Give me I'm finna come right back to Philippians 2 and 12. Give me Romans chapter 10, and I gotta see the verse. Just start at Romans 10 and 1, right? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, because this is what you don't want to do. It says, verse 2, for I bear them, let me restore that verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved, right? So somebody will read the book of Romans, right? Read the book of Acts and say, see, look, it's a Gentile. But all these letters are written to Israelites, right? Ain't no white people being saved, right? Ain't no like people got all manner of wickedness to say about their own people, but I know a good white man, you're wicked. You wicked, right? This whole book is for Israelites, to Israelites, for Israelites, by Israelites. That's it, right? If you don't understand that, this ain't for you, right? But he praying for Israel that they might be saved. But look, listen to what he say next. For I bear them record that they have the zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. So they got the temperament, right? They got the drive to serve God, but not the knowledge how to do it. Verse 3, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness, the righteousness of God is the law. Let me see if I'll pull it. But it says, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness. Slack it, 1 second. Sorry about that. Got a package. All right, let me read verse 3 one more time. Right? So Israelites, we want to serve God, just don't know how to. Verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness, so they ignorant of the law, statutes, commandments, and going about to establish their own righteousness. I ain't gonna do the commandments. I'm gonna do what I think is good and bad. I'm gonna do what I think is right, and God just gonna accept that. That ain't how it works. God told you what to do and what not to do. Thou shalt not. Right? You got people that's ignorant of those thou shalls and those thou shalt nots. And they want, hey, what's sin? Oh, it's missing the mark. What's sin? It's displeasing God. Whatever you done made up in your head, right? Establishing your own righteousness and have not submitted themselves into the righteousness of God, which is the law, statutes, commandments. You don't want to be that person. You got a tingly feeling in you and you want to serve God, but you're doing all the wrong things, right? Now go back to Philippians 2 and 12. And I'm going to end it here. Okay, so in second Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, ye have also, as ye have always obeyed, not as much in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. So you ain't just following the commandments like my kids. I don't want my kids to just follow the commandments when I'm around. I want my kids to move into their own house with their husband and follow the commandments there. That's what I want. I don't want them to go off and they say they Israelites, but they do like the rest of these fake Israelites do. I'm an Israelite, but you just celebrated Christmas. You don't eat pork, but you celebrated Christmas. You don't eat, you cover your head, but you celebrated New Year's and Thanksgiving, right? You don't want to be one of them Israelites, right? So don't just I don't want my kids to just obey the Most High when I'm around or while they're in my house, not just in my presence, but much more when I ain't around. That's the goal, right? So this is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as much in my presence only, but much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. With what? With fear and trembling, because this ain't nothing to be played with. Blow out your candlestick. Verse 13. For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. We know those the commandments. Verse 14. Do all things without murmuring and disputing, right? So when you in this thing, you got to just fight the good fight, count it as joy, right? Fight the good fight, count it as joy, and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the you can't give up. You got to endure to the end, right? And that's the message for today, right? Now, with that, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, and I do so in the name of Yahweh Shah, right? Kwam Yasharala.
Kwame Yashala.
So
Kwame Yashala.